Warning, the following video is rated M for if you're young, you shouldn't watch this, so viewer discretion is advised. But hey, I won't tell if you won't. You know, games have become a lot more story-heavy in the past few years. With all the walking simulators, with the deep emotional stories, blah blah blah, deep, but they, a lot of the time, seem to lack the ever-important game part. Well, I don't think just because something doesn't have meaty gameplay, it should be discredited, but they never feel super engaging because it's just go here and listen or watch the thing. But I just finished playing Firewatch, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. Before jumping in, a part of me was worried it was just gonna be another one of those stand on this track and let's go for a ride down dippity derpland, but instead Firewatch gave me enough to where I feel like I was playing a full fleshed out game. Honestly, I feel like the game could have easily railroaded you and just shoved the story in your face without doing much, but it didn't. Instead, I got a game with exploration, a truthful story, and the all-important sense of, oh my god, there's a turtle in it! Now, Firewatch had an overall positive response, 8 and 9s here and there, and I would say it deserves it. It's one of those games that you can easily beat in one sitting and suddenly feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and then a baby bit sad afterwards. But I think the one thing this game does extremely well is how grounded everything is. Not like boring and here's some paperwork to fill out grounded, but this game is very relatable to the point where I actually looked up Firewatch volunteer postings afterwards. Now that's what I call immersion! Games don't tend to stick to something so familiar. Normally, there is some whimsical element to a normal situation, like Persona 4 for example, where it's be a team by day and then a superpowered dimensional jumping murder investigator by night featuring a really touchy-feely bear. Or the premise is just all crazy all the time and someone forgot to take their Ritalin. Basically what I mean is that games tend to have an impossible element to make it interesting. Games that stray from reality is kind of a risky move since it can lose you a lot faster. But a few games I think that do this well is Papers, Please and Gone Home. Although Gone Home lacks that really meaty substancy gameplay that I was talking about earlier. Ah man, I can't wait to play this new game.
12 seconds later.
Oh, it's over. But Firewatch strikes a perfect chord with me because I felt like I was actually playing something that was grounded. For those who haven't played the game, Firewatch is about a dude named Henry who takes up a volunteer lookout job in a forest to get away from the troubles of his marriage. Throughout the game, you talk to your supervisor, Delilah, or Dee, and you bond over the summer and try to uncover the weird stuff that's been happening in the forest and to you. Also, the adventures of Henry and the drunken gal pals? You think they're just friends because I don't. But the thing I found really interesting is how the game handles its more exciting elements. But the game had several opportunities to get funky and say, LOL, JK, it's all a dream and you died at this event, or just kidding, you're crazy and you're actually talking into an easy bake oven and Bucket is actually your wife, or the ever-interesting Ghost and Aliens garbage. But the game didn't do this. Instead, all the weird stuff is actually rationally explained, although it's a tad dark, but it's all possible. And I think the best way to explain the feelings of this game is real. The characters' dialogue is believable and cohesive, and it deals with very real problems and how characters would actually react to certain situations. One of the themes I noticed in this game was responsibility. I like to think the game's message is, if you ignore your problems, they are still there no matter where you go or what you do. Henry is running away from the responsibilities of taking care of his sick wife. Dee ran away because of a broken heart and caused even more of a headache after not wanting to deal with the missing girl report. And what's-his-face daddy murderer left his son to rot because he didn't want to deal with taking care of his death. Also, here's your Dad of the Year award, buddy. Way to go. But at the end of the day, and even a few years for some of the characters, their problems remained unchanged. Now, I could get mega super symbolic bullcrap and say the fires represent not doing anything to fires, just made them grow and cause more damage and blah blah blah. Fire is symbolic and I passed 10th grade English blah, but be real, I'm not super sure. The game developers could just have a thing for forest fires for all I know. Regardless, the message seems clear. Deal with your gosh diddly dang problems now. Now, a lot of people have said they feel the ending is disappointing because of how everything was explained. They say it felt anticlimactic since the game kinda hints at something more extravagant like JK, it's actually the Matrix, and while the game ending is vague, I see it as truthful and realistic. All of the characters realize they have to deal with the stuff they neglected and move on with their lives, simple as that. Now, while the game has a realistic story and a lot of dialogue and walking, it does slip under my walking simulator, why did you charge me over $10 to just move forward and listen to some junk radar? Firewatch has fun exploration and doesn't limit you unless you want it to. I didn't explore a whole heck of a lot, but I didn't feel railroaded at all. I could could explore it anytime and anywhere. There was a natural item progression, like seeing a thing and being like, hey, I don't have that now, but I will, and then maybe I can find a cool squirrel, gay love letters, and oh hey, maybe some badass dirt. But all the cool stuff isn't all used for just the main story. It was fun exploring, taking your time skipping in the flower fields or finding Nito's stuff and the turtle. It was all enough. It was good. It was fun, and I took some sweet pictures. Of course, I can understand people not getting into this game. There's no combat, just exploring, and it's one of those slow character building stories, and if you're not into forest aesthetics, which for the record is really pretty, I can't imagine getting too much excitement out of this one. But all that stuff aside, I've been a tad worried with a lot of these indie game trends. The lines between game and interactive story have been very hazy lately, but Firewatch restored my faith in these smaller titles, giving me something deep while making it worth playing. Firewatch is a change of pace for both story and design in indie games. It kept things fun, honest, and more importantly, beautiful. And for the record, and a little side note here, for all the people who got flirty loosey-goosey around D, y'all should feel ashamed of yourselves. Look, I'm not saying Henry should have stayed with the Jules if she can barely recognize the dude, but man, don't just straight up cheat on your wife, you nasty! If he was divorced, yeah, I can see you getting the goo-goo eyes for D, but jeez! I friend-zoned D so hard in this game, because it's in sickness and in health, you short-wearing dipshit! Hope you all enjoyed this video, guys, and if you agree with me, that's great! And if you want to murder my insides, that's wonderful! Why don't you tell all your friends about my awfulness and share this on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr so they know you hate me extra much.
Later, you big nerds. Buns out. I literally just dropped the mic. Buns is out. I'm gonna go take a nap.